Hey folks, welcome to another episode. I'm here with Zubin, and Zubin and I were talking. We just did a podcast, and we felt, there was more information that we wanted to make sure that we wanted to address. We were talking about when mom or dad, whoever it is, be staying with their kids, their primary caregivers, and whatever the case may be, just to make sure that they're aging in place, and we want everything with dignity. But could you just talk about what we were just talking about a few minutes ago?
Yeah, sure. My father passed away last year in 2024. And when he passed away, he was living with my mom in Northern Virginia, and they had an apartment. Well, soon after his passing, we decided to close the lease out, and need to figure out where mom was going to stay. So we had a lot of conversations with her. Temporarily, she stayed with my sister in Northern Virginia. They lived about 20 minutes from my parents, and everything was okay for the first few months. Then we had to make a decision. Where was mom going to live permanently? Because it was still sort of a temporary situation. We talked it through and ultimately decided that she would live with my wife and I in New York. And so we brought her up. And for the first few trips, she was going back and forth, visiting my sister at times. And then she would come back and she would take all of her stuff, but she didn't like it. She was very unsettled about that existence, because what we discovered and we learned, even though I'm in the business and I should know this, it took me a while, but I figured out that she needed permanence. She needed a home. And so, even if that meant that she kept her things in New York and only took a small suitcase to Virginia when she visited, and that would give her a sense of permanence. And then she had a Virginia ID, a non-driver's license ID, and she needed to renew that. So I said, instead of renewing it in Virginia, why don't we go together to the DMV? We spent the day at the DMV, as one does, and got her a New York State license ID. And all of that allowed her to sort of wrap around her head the fact that she was now a New York State resident. She had a home. And I think that is something we often overlook with seniors. We think that, okay, they're essentially like children now, and we can move them around as we please, maybe from one sibling to another, a few months here, a few months there. But it's very, very important for their dignity, for their peace of mind, for their sanity, to know that they have home, wherever that home may be, that is their home, that they feel comfortable there. And so I would recommend to all of the audience that if you're making these tough decisions, number one, bring your loved one into the conversation, ask them where they would like to live, and find that place for them. Give them the support that they need, respect their dignity, and then give them that sense, whether it's through identification, whether it's through permanence in furniture or clothing, where their things are now, because it's very hard to be transient for all of us, particularly for seniors and particularly for those with cognitive issues. So that's a very, very critical part of aging.
I loved everything you just said. For me, what I would add to that is you want to make them as comfortable as possible. They don't want to feel like a burden. You don't want them to feel like it's a burden. I'm speaking from experience when my grandmother went before she passed away. I know I've known her for all my life. So I know when she's thinking, even though her memory she was losing, I know that she was thinking, I'm a burden. I don't want to be a burden. And sometimes I would wake up early or late and I would hear her in her room, and I'm keeping an eye on her. So I'm walking around, I'm checking, like, Grandma, what are you doing? She's cleaning her room. Like, Grandma, you don't have to do that. I need to do that. And I'm like, and she's thinking that somebody's gonna throw her out. I'm like, Grandma, nobody's throwing you out. I'll be thrown out first before you go out. But like I said, we want to make sure they have dignity. We want to make sure they're safe, and make sure they're part of everything. So one of the things I used to do with my grandmother, she used to love this, even though her memory was gone, but she remembered most of the time I'm wearing a tie. So I'd come to her room, have a tie, couple of ties. Grandma, can you pick one? Sometimes she's looking at me and she's like, I'd see the smile on her face and she'd pick a tie and that's the tie I would be wearing. So hopefully, Grandma, I hope you're proud. So anyway, with that being said, there's a lot of decisions when it comes to when you're aging in place. You want to make sure that your family member is comfortable and you yourself and your family's comfortable. Sometimes selling one property, selling another property, selling both of them, so you can use that money so you can buy a property that's going to comfortably fit everybody, might be the ideal fit for everyone. And then after you do that, you reach out to Zobin and get his services so that you can take some of the burden off of you to help with the situation or whatever the situation is. Zubin, what is your contact information for those people who are looking at this and like, all right, you know what, I'm in a situation like this, or I might be coming to this situation. What do I need to put in place? Well, how can we reach you?
Sure, you can call us at our office 516-513-7070, or you can find out more information on our website. We have two. One is RAH, which stands for Right at Home, rahqueens.com, or rahlongisland.com.
All right, I don't have any other questions or anything to say besides you need to give him a call as soon as possible. Start planning, and then when you have the conversation with him, give me a call. 917-975. You can find my information, and this video will be on YouTube channel, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, pretty much everything. It'll also be on our website, and our website is mynyhomesales.com. I'm Evanzt Saint-Gerard. I hope you got some value out of this. If you have any questions regarding anything that we discussed, feel free to reach out to myself or Mr. Zubin. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.